that please give us activities which make sense both to us and to the society, the system will bend and give it to you. If you don't demand, who else will? There are some teachers who are demanding. There are some students who are demanding. This particular event, which focuses on social engineering, is, I will tell you, an extraordinary thing. Not many institutions in the country are thinking like this. I would like to compliment the institution and the student organizers who think about this. This panel, for example, is a mind-churning activity for all of us. The takeaway from this place has to be each one applies one's mind more and more critically and more exhaustively on the issues that we raise. The system will not change from outside. The system will change from within. Just like autonomy. You know, autonomy is never given. It is taken. If you wait for somebody to give autonomy, don't forget the fundamental fact of power. Nobody who holds power would like to willingly give it. This applies to kings, this applies to bureaucrats, this applies to any leadership. But as long as you want to take that power for doing something good, the power might at least be grudgingly given. That is what autonomy is all about. We were talking about funding before giving my conclusion on the relevance of higher education funding. Let me request Professor Bhatt if he would like to make any concluding remarks, because he had raised some extremely important points. In fact, I was tempted to quote the MIT's early history precisely to respond to your observation about doing things which are relevant.
29 years, I joined as a student, 16-year-old boy, and grown here. So I had seen the system for a long time. But my sincere confession here is that NITK or then KREC, at any cost, we don't have a depth of fund. What we have is the autonomy. For example, now, in fact, when Mr. Arun came to my house yesterday morning, and today morning, and we are discussing, he asked, Gopal, how are the boys? I said, we miss the naughty boys like you, because we are blessed with very good students. I am very proud to say that.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we are not in a position to attract the good faculty. We don't want money. We are in a position to earn money, and we can get a lot of money from alumnus or alumni. But we are not in a position to get faculty. As a head of the department, I'm ready to go for shopping to Himalaya also to get faculty, but I've been deprived of that. For last 3.5 years, we are not in a position to recruit any faculty members. I'm not venting my sentiments, but it's a fact, because if at all government gives anything to us, the first thing is they should give an autonomy to the institution to what exactly we want to get the goal. Thank you, sir.
Extremely important. Without faculty, you cannot build any educational system, whether it's at a primary school level, higher secondary school level. Let me give you this answer in two parts. First, the generic aspect, and second, the particular aspect of what we could do. I have some solutions which we are experimenting at IIT. The generic part is as follows. In any society, the percentage of people who genuinely want to take up teaching or soldiering as professions is a small percentage. You can study the history of 5,000 years of humanity and you will find that people who want to go towards teaching, which means seeking knowledge, pursuing knowledge, or go towards soldiering, which means defending the society. Okay. These are the two trades who are explicitly working for the society all their lives, all their careers. And such percentage of people is always small. Wise societies always attempt to create an environment where larger and larger number of such small percentage of people feel encouraged to take up these professions. That is why societies build tremendous respect for teachers. I may or may not get extraordinary money, but the love and affection I get from my students anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country is phenomenal. Even today, if I see a primary school teacher, rare, I studied in 14 different schools, but I feel like touching that person's feet because he made a difference to my life. In every school that I studied, in 14 schools, I had 1 or 2 teachers who were different, whom I still remember. Not all teachers were great, but some teachers make a difference to us, and we respect that. That is the societal way of responding. However, that way alone is not sufficient. The society must also take care of the fact, of the requirement that the teacher or the soldier and his or her family are well taken care of, that they are paid compensation levels which are comparable to the top performers of the society elsewhere. Sadly, we're not doing that. 30 years ago, the compensation level difference between government jobs and private jobs in general and the salaries of faculty and other things in particular were not very different. Today it is not so. You're talking generically of hiring faculty. When I studied these, when I went to 67 colleges in my sabbatical, at every college in the field of IT, CS and electronics, as was rightly mentioned, fresh BEs are teaching these students. Why? Tell me the kind of compensation levels that the IT industry offers today to a young graduate. Okay. Is there any earthly reason why a capable, young, enthusiastic person passing out of the institute would like to think of building an academic career? There is no earthly reason. Please note that that small percentage of people who have that fire in the belly to do post-graduation, to do research or to go into teaching, that percentage is still there. But the peer pressure becomes higher when the differential becomes higher. Particularly when I am 19 years old and I am passing out, I see that if I do my master's, I'll get a stipend of 5,000 rupees, and this fellow who is 10 steps below me in academic performance, he is going to ride in a car at the end of 1 year. If I do PhD for 5 years, 4 years, my life will be stuck at a stipend of 8,000 rupees a month. Whereas this fellow would be earning something like 25,000 rupees a month to 40,000 rupees a month, would be married, would be settled well, would be having his own flat, and I would be staying out of a hostel room, not knowing where do I go next. Why should a young, capable individual like to take this up as a profession? I have been arguing again and again and again that the salaries and compensation levels of teachers and research scholars have to be increased 5 times. Forget the public funding. I met several people who run private engineering colleges. Nobody stops them from paying at least double the salary to teachers. Why don't they do that? They don't do that because implicitly they are running a business in the name of education. Education must be run in a business-like fashion, but you can't make business out of education. Once you make a business out of education, such considerations as hiring the best talent, getting the best researchers become secondary. With all said and done, it is the national funding which is going to these elite institutions which is actually holding a semblance of that purity, a semblance of that priority. It still says, yes, we want the best researchers. It still says, yes, we want PhDs. We want good teachers. In IIT, the way we are trying to solve this system is by adding a top-up salary through donations that we generate. We can't do that for everybody. It will also have to be performance-based. So we are saying chair professors, already some IITs have started doing it. As a Golden Jubilee convener, I am now setting up 50 chair professorships in IIT. I am setting up 100 Golden Jubilee fellowships. What are these fellowships? They are plain additional salary, although I won't call them salary because my bureaucratic friends in Delhi won't like that. I hope none of them is here. Okay. Because somehow this government has decided that the salaries of professors must be less than salaries of joint secretaries. Salaries of brigadier generals must be less than salaries of joint secretaries. What these two things have to do with each other, I do not know. But that's the decision. Now the only way to stop this decision is use our autonomy. The fact that if I am spending government money, I spend it as per government rules. But if I am spending my money, I am responsible to myself and to the people who donated that money to me. So suppose I say there will be a 3 lakh rupees annual fellowship to a young faculty member who has proven extraordinary work, or a 4 lakh rupee annual golden chair additional remuneration that may hopefully solve the problem of attracting people in the future. Please remember, the people who are presently in the system don't care one fig. But that's why when they came here, nobody gave them these carrots. They are going to be here for the rest of their lives. People like you and I will retire from this place. No